Hi folks, it's Jonathan and Anne, or Anne and Jonathan, whichever kind of way the screen kind of happens. Spiritual Speakeasy, can't remember the number, is it 15? I'm guessing, 15 I think. Anyway, irrelevant really in the grand scheme of things. We just want to fire off a few words and thoughts that might help other people out there in the world, just to kind of perhaps confirm a few things for themselves, or perhaps it might spur more kind of thought processes. We always love to hear your feedback, by the way, so thank you very much to all the new subscribers that have come onto the channel. Thank you to everybody who comments as well. We're absolutely amazed by your comments. And we don't just get the comments on the YouTube channel. People do take the time to send some amazing comments through email or, through other channels, social media. And it's always amazing to read them, because we're making connections, and that's what it's all about. It's kind of understanding that we're not on our own, with these thoughts and feelings that are going on right now. The energies have been absolutely intense, okay? They seem to be getting more and more intense, but thank you to my spirit guides for kind of alerting me to that process, because they do kind of step in every now and again and say, look, stop what you're doing and listen to this. This is hot off the press, hot news. So it's nice to be able to get a little bit of an inkling of what's going on. And they did say to me that October was going to be quite intense. Things would feel like they're coming to a head, particularly from the 15th of the month, so halfway through the month. Now, in our lives, we've seen a lot of things happening. Maybe that you've not seen anything happening in your life at all. That's no problem. But it's just keep an eye on things. Just watch for what's going on, because things are not always apparent, and if you stay away from the media, from the news like we tend to do, we have to kind of keep abreast of that, because, we do have a business to run, and we need to know what's going on. But in general, we just, kind of distance ourselves from that vibration, because we may have mentioned it in previous spiritual speakeasies that there are certain frequencies that are being used there, and these announcements that keep coming out and have done for well over 18 months now. We've just had a new raft of those announcements. Is raft the right word, by the way?
Could be. It'll do.
Raft,
it'll do.
Yeah.
Barrage.
We're on a raft, Yeah, going down the rapids, really, and negotiating the rapids, because that's what we're doing right now. We're negotiating the rapids. We know that eventually the river will level off and become calm and gentle, and then we're going out into the sea. And of course, that sea is the sea of consciousness. That just came to me.
I like that.
Do you?
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Good. That just came to me, did that?
Good image.
And it is, and it's the sea of consciousness, isn't it? It's where we go. It's where we all become the collective, and we all share that love and experience that we've gone through in these times. We've got to bear in mind that we are going in a direction. We're all moving forward and moving through the ascension period. And many times, again, my guides have said, look, there's no going back from this. There's no reversal. There's nobody saying, oh, well, sorry, but you've not made the grade. Well, it's like it's happening. It's happening right now, and it's continuing. So we just need to be kind of assured sometimes that things are going in that direction, and we've got to bring joy into life as well, and thankfully we had an opportunity to do that this weekend. We went to Manchester to actually see a gig, and we were kind of wondering whether it's going to be on or not, whether we'd get, dare I use that word, lockdown, or be restricted in movement once again. And there's still talk of all that, by the way. We could go on that vibration and talk about all that, but we just want to kind of bring a little bit of hope, really, a little bit of more than hope, shall I say, because our mantra right now is keep the faith. If you see our social media and our newsletter and our website, you'll see that we're talking about keeping the faith right now. Hope's okay, but hope is a little bit of kind of uncertainty. What we're talking about is faith, is the true knowing that everything's going to be all right. And the angels tell us this, and high ascended beings tell us this, and some days we doubt, and then some days that wave of energy comes back and it kind of rekindles that knowing that we have inside.
And it is a knowing, isn't it?
It's a knowing, absolutely a knowing.
It's not something that we can read about, see. It's a feeling. It's a knowing.
It's unmovable.
Yeah.
It's almost like nothing can move that, nothing can move that feeling. And we do talk about it many times. And we've got to share our thoughts, as we've said right at the beginning, share things with each other. Talk about things, talk about our feelings, because we're all experiencing different things and the same thing all at once. And that experience, the personal experiences that we're having, can really resonate with other people, can really connect, and it's just a few words. And I want to read out, if I may, an email that Anne and myself received. I did a blog on the newsletter, and it was kind of going along with that mantra, keep the faith. And we don't ever remove blogs, folks, so if ever we refer to a blog, you can go on our website and you'll see it. You're welcome to read them. But this is from a lovely guy, a friend of ours actually, and he does visit the centre. And it's always a pleasure to see him when he does. And am I allowed to use his first name? Or,
yeah, you can use his first.
Bruce. What a lovely man. Okay, very spiritual soul. Hiya, Bruce. And I want to read you this because it really touched us. And he writes, Jonathan, this week's channeling really resonates with me. Some really wonderful words there among the whole. That's not on the whole, but within the whole, because the whole has great love within the words. I just needed you to know how special it was for me as I reread it time and again. I believe it's true to say that we must, all of us, take from those sentences the words or phrases that catch on somewhere in our own soul-heart combination and have great meaning. Because this is interesting, me talking now, just as an aside, is that we can all read things and interpret things in different ways. And some people read it as ranty, okay, and angry. Some people get it completely different. We all interpret things in different ways. We must never really have a go at someone for, say, misunderstanding something or reading it in their own way. Yeah? Anyway, that's aside. So sometimes for Bruce, he says, sometimes for me it means going over a paragraph again and again in order to try and take in its full meaning. I forgot to mention that this was part channeled, by the way, was this information. Some of it was coming from my experience, but I was also getting channeled information too. And he goes on to say, I wonder now I've said that, we each hear those same words with our hearts in a different way, and this is what we've been talking about. And they have a whole new meaning for one and all. This, it seems, is the way it should be, after we all go our separate ways, our own paths, as we walk towards the same goal. And that's interesting, because we've talked about the river, yeah? We're all coming from different tributaries, different streams, following different pathways into that torrent, that river where we're negotiating the rapids, and then down into that beautiful, gentle river as we make our way towards the sea of consciousness. He says, I wonder now I've said that, we each hear those same words in our hearts in a different way. This, it seems, is the way it should be. After all, we go our separate ways, our own paths, as we walk towards the same goal. Sorry, I'm repeating that little bit there. I'd lost where I was. Not unusual. And this is lovely. A smile, as we cry within, is still a smile given with meaning. Good morning, said while smiling, gives out a powerful message. You know what? I don't want to start a divide. That's the last thing I'm trying to create. But us Northerners, we tend to make eye contact. Yeah. Which can be a little bit disturbing sometimes.
Done like that, yeah.
Yeah. When it's in the right context, of course. But he goes on to say that I've found over the years those smiles seem to be taken in only by those willing to do so. As I walk, I sometimes say that hello or good morning, knowing that person is trying to reject any contact with the strange smiling idiot walking towards them. I'm sure we've all had that experience.
So that's us, isn't it? We are the strange smiling idiots.
We are, yes. Well, maybe not me. But it's true, isn't it? It's like, I wonder what goes through people's minds sometimes. So he says, it goes within if that poor soul only thinks for a moment about that smile. You know, the purpose of what's happening there is to try and lift somebody's day, you know. And they're probably saying, why me? I don't know him. Why smile at me? How strange. That to me is all it takes. It starts its journey deep within, like one of those songs in my ear that just won't turn off the eternal loop it seems to be on. And we've had a song going through our ears and minds, haven't we? And it's My Lovely Horse from Father Ted. Watch Father Ted. Just watch it on YouTube. My Lovely Horse. The whole episode is hilarious. It's about a Eurovision entry. Ted and Dougal. If you don't know who I'm talking about, don't worry. But if you do, check it out again because it's hilarious.
Yeah, but if you don't want an earworm, don't watch it because it'll drive you like it's true.
It's already
crazy.
Singing in my head. Yeah. But it's worked. So that smile, that resonance, that lovely frequency, that vibration, he says it's worked. A smile can affect a complete stranger. He calls it the Brucey bonus, by the way. He says the Brucey bonus in this exchange is, even if begrudgingly, a little turn up of the lip and a very strangled good morning comes back, you know. And I must admit, I used to force people into saying good morning. On the school run, there's a very narrow pathway, and people would have their heads down and stuff, and I'd say good morning, you know, with a big smile, and then I kind of look up and go, oh, morning, you know. It's almost like remembering that you're human, you know, taking yourself out of whatever thoughts you got in your head, and it's kind of snapping people out of that, you know, that pattern of thinking.
Yeah, it's a trance, isn't it?
It is.
Well, it's a trance when you've got your mobiles and all this stuff that you just constantly stare at. You seem to forget that there is real human interaction.
Absolutely.
Not just online interaction.
We all need it. We all need it to begin to reconnect. And this is what we're talking about.
We've had some fabulous conversations, haven't we, recently? With
just incredible.
Just complete strangers. And you just go away from that just feeling fantastic, don't you?
It's, you know, now we've got this kind of, dare I say it, freedom back. Okay.
Now you've jinxed it.
I know. Sorry. Take it at this point. That's where it got jinxed. But we have, you know, just by saying a few words to someone, we've entered into some absolutely amazing conversations, haven't we? Amazing. And the synchronicities that have come out of those conversations has been quite incredible. So keep watching for those synchronicities, folks. It's just a little reminder that life is not random, okay? And if you think of these times that this isn't random, that it's meant to be, okay, then go along with that. It's not meant to, human beings were never meant to live in a dystopian nightmare. Human beings were meant to live freely for the purpose of experience and expressing love. So just remember that. So it's Brucey bonus, he says. So that turned to the lip and the stranger comes back with a good morning. He says, there, job done, he says. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yeah? those two small words, good morning, said with a combination of a smile, can have a great meaning. Absolutely amazing, Bruce. Thank you. Thank you so much. And it goes on to mention this concert that we've been to. He must have been watching the little broadcast that we did. And we'd just like to talk about that, really, about what we witnessed on, was it Friday night? I've lost track of time.
Yeah, it's Friday night.
Yeah, on Friday night, yeah. And
it's great because it's like we've gained a day.
yeah.
Because when you think it's the day forward, so Friday night to us, we felt like Saturday night, didn't we? And then you wake up and go, oh, actually, we've got another day.
Absolutely. And it's that lovely feeling, isn't it? Thinking that you got a little bit of extra time.
So today, in our reality, should be Monday, and it's not.
Yeah, it should be, and that's tomorrow. Yeah, but we love to go shopping on a Monday.
We do.
We love it. It's our contact, our weekly contact sometimes with the outside world. I tell you what, this contact we've had this weekend's been amazing. We went to see a wonderful singer. I've got one of those little itches on the. I'm sure I had an itch on the end of my nose last time we did a speakeasy. What's all that about? And a wonderful singer called Ivor Palsdottir. She comes from the Faroe Islands, and you must check her out on YouTube. We, for a long number of years, have had a very strong connection with the Nordic cultures. And one of our sons got us into a band called Wardruna, Wardruna. And if you ever followed the Viking series, they did the theme tune for that. If you ever followed the Last Kingdom series, Ivor Palsdottir was the really high, amazing voice in the theme tune to that series as well. And we really resonate with this music. It may not be our taste, music's a very personal thing. But just for the artistic aspect of it alone, do check it out. Because this lady, when she sings, she can stand there with a drum, a skin drum, a native culture drum, and beat out a rhythm and sing, and just that alone can just blow your mind. So you've got to check her out. And it's a funny spelling, of course, because we're talking kind of like Icelandic Norse things, and it's got lots of little dashes and dots on and all kinds of things.
Well, it's only funny to us, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
we don't recognise it.
I don't mean funny ha-ha, of course, and it's like we don't use
unusual.
Those symbols, do we, in our writing? But Ivor is spelled E-I-V-O-R, and Palsdottir is the Icelandic way of surnames, by the way, so you are either son or daughter. So Ivor is the son of Pal, so Palsdottir. Okay, you get that? So you will be Joe's daughter. I will be Edwardson. Okay, do you get it now? Yeah, that's how it is. And somebody said, put a comment on a social media post saying, you want to check out the Icelandic phone directory? Yeah. So yeah. But I think that's great. I think that's a great way of naming. Don't you think that's a great way of naming somebody? That you're either a son or a daughter, yeah? And you are the daughter of the man, okay, within that union, or the son of the man within that union. I think that's brilliant. I think that's absolutely wonderful. So
yeah, I was thinking modern times now. It's how's that going to be taken? But we won't go down that.
Oh no, let's not touch on that one. Good Lord. Oh, sorry, I'm just having to get over that.
We're going to have all cultures changed, aren't we?
I'm still not over it.
No. Are you over it yet?
Nearly.
Will you ever get over it?
I'm just getting there. Right, I'm over it, thanks. I'm going to have a slurp of coffee now as well, okay.
Yeah, it's been an absolutely amazing weekend, hasn't it?
Yeah,
And just that, it's that tribal aspect, hasn't it? It's that feeling of belonging, of being. I don't know. It's a thing to experience, isn't it? It's
yeah.
difficult to put into words, really, but it's like a homecoming.
Well, it's probably becoming a little bit of a cliche now after so long, but people talk about finding their tribe. And, we found our tribe, or we're still finding our tribe, should I say. Um, and
And we've an amazing tribe that come to the centre, haven't we?
exactly. There's all these wonderful souls, all of a like mind. We're still individuals, we're still different, we still
I'm
do our
not.
own things. Yeah. You got to get your comic timing
Yeah, my
right, by
comic
the way.
timing were rubbish
That
there,
yeah,
wasn't
it
it?
was.
Yeah.
You should have waited till I got a natural pause. Yeah.
I'll learn.
So we could do it again, Um, we're all individuals.
I'm not.
That's better. Thanks. Duly stolen from the life of Brian, of course. But it's that connection, it's that tribal thing, it's not just connection now in this time, it's actually from the ancestral time, okay? Because, you might have heard me talk about it or write about it before, about the connection of our DNA. And our DNA is this amazing processor of information. And it doesn't just hold information about the now, it holds information about all the connections we've ever had. So you can call them past lives if you want, but I tend to call them concurrent lives, because to me life and time is happening right now, not tomorrow, not yesterday, not 5 minutes ago. It appears to be so in this dimension, but in reality, if we took this physical dimension away and removed ourselves from that and looked at life in our spirit form, there would be no time. Great concept to get your head around that one. But what we're actually doing is connecting with that spirit, that ancestral memory, okay, of those times. And you may connect with something completely different. We connect with the Norse vibration, the Northlands, very much so. And but yours might be completely different. We all have something that we deeply connect with. But I tell you what, we're looking at the people in the audience, and they were all transfixed by this wonderful singer, this lady, who I would say is an earth angel, really, because she can weave these spells, this magic, this angelic magic, if you like. Do they do spells, angels? I don't know.
I don't know, but it was in a very human way, wasn't it?
Oh,
It was in a very
totally
humble.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but it was just beautiful to watch her. Absolutely. There was no ego, there was no even showmanship, was there?
No.
There was just this wonderful woman with a band enjoying the music
And
enjoying
connecting
the vibe,
with the audience.
connecting.
And we all connected with her, this wonderful two-way conversations going on and stuff, and that's what makes it human, isn't it? I remember watching Adele on the telly at the Albert Hall concert she did there, and that was just incredible, just this woman on a stage with a piano player, okay, singing, I can't remember the song, very famous song that she did, and everybody was connecting with that, and these are real special moments, and this is the stuff that we need to really begin to nurture and get back into.
It was like having her in your home, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was like just
having
friends round.
Yeah.
And just somebody playing and singing. That's what it felt like. Well, there was no division, was there? There was no putting somebody on a pedestal or anything like that.
That's it.
It was an incredible experience.
Yeah.
Really emotional too.
Oh, incredible. Yeah. I mean, at some points I get transcendental with the music, and that's happened with me when I went to see Wardruna. And it's just a spiritual experience. It's wonderful. You know, music to me has got to be a spiritual thing, you know, and when that touches you, because music is the thing that connects us all, it unites us all, you know. If there's one thing in this world, this wonderful gift we're being given, it's the gift of music and the gift of being able to sing a song together. You know, if you've seen the film, what's it called, Bohemian Rhapsody?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Live Aid, live, you know, so I remember the whole thing. I wasn't there, but I watched it on TV, and you know, as soon as Freddie Mercury fires up this song, you know, like "We Are the Champions," you know, it's like, and the whole crowd just joins in, and it's just that oneness, isn't it? And this is what oneness feels like. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel loved. It makes you feel amazing, and it makes you feel connected. You know, and at that point, there's no such thing as being alone because we're all singing literally with the same voice. So spiritually, we've got to really try and attain this because we've lost it just recently. We've lost that connection. We've been divided. Okay, I was beginning to sound a little bit Norse then when I said divided. See, it's coming through already. Yeah. And it's just knitting that back together again, you know, like clangers. This is weird, but you know, as a kid, I used to watch the clangers, and so did you, didn't you? And then I said one day, I said, "Oh, the knitted, look, the knitted," when they came on the telly, and Anne was devastated. By the way,
Yeah.
she was absolutely distraught that the clangers were knitted. I don't see that as a problem. I just think that's been a bit prejudiced towards
whatever.
clangers. You know, it's the knitted. And
They were little beings, though, not made by somebody. They were their own little creatures, weren't they?
Well, yeah, but they should be proud of the fact that they knit one, pearl one, or something. I don't know. You know.
And I eventually did knit one for you, didn't I?
You did, and it was quite amazing. You created a clanger.
I did.
See, so from that kind of situation of you know, being a bit distraught, came this wonderful product.
What inane ramblings are these?
Yeah, but come on, clangers are ace. Right, where were we? So yeah, we're talking about this bringing together again, aren't we? Bringing humanity together. And there's so much division. It's affected everybody. It's in my family right now, you know, and things that I've had to almost like, I can't even think of the word, put aside, you know, my own personal opinions and feelings. I'm being taught now that I've got to put those aside. And if we could all begin to work on that individually, we can all start to work towards the greater goal. And the greater goal for everyone right now is to reconnect, okay? Be human. Go out and have those wonderful conversations with total strangers. Do what Bruce does. Go and say good morning to people. You know, they might be the most miserable looking person on the planet, and we have no idea why they look miserable. It might be that the day's just not going too well, or they just don't want that interaction with someone, you know, or they're frightened, they're in fear of somebody, because that's happened so much. Being in fear of other human beings, you know, who are just like us. We're no different, but that fear, we've got to now try to help to begin to heal that, heal the fear. And, you know, just say, look, come on, let's talk about things. You know, let's not argue, let's not fight. Where is that taking us? Where actually is that taking us if we're arguing and fighting? Do we want a world of segregation? Do we want that, really? For what benefit would that bring to us? We've seen it happening in history. Why do we want to repeat that? Because it's a road to nowhere. Absolute road to nowhere. And every time we do connect, the feeling that comes from that, I said with this concert, with the Live Aid thing, you know, talking to other human beings, it makes us feel good. Okay? It just makes us feel warm and fuzzy and just amazing. But segregation, hatred, fear, these are foreign to the human spirit. The human spirit does not exude these things or, you know, exist in that vibration. We only allow that to happen for the experience on planet Earth. So we've got to experience what we're doing right now, but that is not who we really are. So we've got to begin to learn that this segregation, this division, is not who we really are. So we're going to begin to look to turn that situation around. So keep the faith. Yeah, know that everything's going to be all right, even if we don't see it. And there are days when we don't see it. It's just like you wake up in the morning and I just get a wobble and I get the anxiety. The anxiety comes in. There's so much going on planet Earth right now. But keep the faith. Keep that knowing. Know in your heart, in your center, in your heart space. Okay, that's what's happening. Every time I communicate with guides, they always say, you know, everything's going to be okay. And they can see a little bit more than we can, so I'm going to trust them on that one. Yeah. The madness right now is becoming intense, as we've said. The lies are beginning to be exposed. You cannot lie and not be found out. Okay? It always comes out. The web of deceit will be found out. Because, as the saying goes, I popped a little post on Facebook today, the old saying, if at first we, what is it?
What a tangled
web we weave when first we practice to deceive. Because once you do that, you've then got to continue it. You've got to continue it and continue it and continue it. And it's like, we see that in politics, yeah? And people have accepted that. Why do we accept that, by the way? That's a question I find difficult to answer myself. Because politics is a prison. It's just another prison. It's just another way to keep us enslaved. We don't need politics. What we need is humans. We need each other. Yeah? And this opinion, that opinion. Well, it's time to put that aside now. It's time to begin to work for a world where we can learn to understand each other and work with each other. And the only way we're going to do that is to ascend, is to allow ourselves to rise in our vibration, in our frequency. We are not going to bring that world in by being political, by being enshrined in a dogma. That is not going to happen. All that does is it just shackles us at the wrists and it shackles us at the feet and it locks us in. Do we want to live like that? I don't want to live like that. Do you want to live like that? I don't want to live like that. We don't want it. It's not that we don't want it. We don't need it. That's the thing now. We must now be seeing that this is not the pathway for humanity. It's leading to our own destruction and slavery. So keep the what?
Keep the faith.
Keep the faith.
Keep the faith.
We'll get it out then.
Yeah. Yeah. We must keep the faith. Because ultimately it will be okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, whatever happens in life, no matter how bad a circumstance is, ultimately it'll always be okay. And that's a hard one to explain, isn't it? Hindsight's a great thing, isn't it? There's something that's been occurring to me about, you know, this division that we've got right now and all this hatred that's going on. is that when we're triggered by somebody else, what they say and their actions, what actually is it within us that's made us feel this way towards somebody else? So Bruce mentioned really, I suppose in a nutshell, about perception, about when somebody says something or you read something, and people take it in a certain way, don't they? And quite often it's not meant in the way that it's been taken. But something in that person's life, an experience that they've had, or it might be their upbringing, it could be anything really, any number of reasons, has caused them to react in that way and to read it in a way that perhaps wasn't meant. So I feel would be a really good exercise, is that the next time we're triggered by something, when something really gets on your goat, whether it's something that somebody says, whether it's an action that somebody does, why does it trigger that anger within us, or that frustration, or that fear? And actually sit down, and rather than getting offended or insulted or hurling it back, is to actually sit and think, okay, so what is it within me that is causing this reaction? I'm not saying we're condoning somebody's behaviour, but it's very interesting to look at yourself and see what's going on in there right now. It's almost like using yourself as a third party, where you can sit detached and go, okay, yeah, why has that anger risen? What is it in my past, in my history, that's happened to me to make me react in such a way?
It's like that keyboard warrior syndrome, isn't it? When you're on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, social media, or, and somebody kind of says something that really hits a nerve, and you just immediately want to kind of go, I'm going to stick my fingers up like that, and do that, and getting really angry, and it's like, and what we've had to learn to do is don't do that. Okay. Well, do it, but don't send it just yet.
Yeah, get it out.
Okay?
Get it out of your system without sending
Allow
it.
all that anger or whatever it is that, where you really want to strangle somebody with words.
With love.
With loving words. And then sleep on it.
Yeah, there's the good saying, isn't there? Sleep on it.
Sleep on it.
It's good.
Have a look at it the morning after, and I can guarantee you, that you'll think, oh my God, I'm glad I didn't send that. Yeah. And it's really good practice to do that, because, we should, anger's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because it helps us to release.
Well, there's two different types of anger. There's a negative anger, and there's the anger that sits inside and gnaws away at us, and we mull things over and over again, and it really, all that does is serves to harm us. But then there's the anger that's the motivating anger, that's the good anger. In other words, it gets us off our backsides to go and make changes.
Yeah.
So it's the recognition between the two, isn't it? And releasing the stuff that we hold and destroy ourselves with.
Definitely. So cool off a little bit, step back a little bit, and as Anne said, become the observer. It's almost like take yourself out of your body and observe it from, say, a third party, and think, what would somebody else make to that, or make of it, and then you can then start to retype, but this time you can do it without the vitriol or the anger.
Well, there's always two sides to an argument, isn't there?
Yeah.
And when you're in the flow of an argument, you have your side, obviously, and your person that you're arguing with has their side. And when you're in that moment, you can't understand why somebody else is behaving in that way. Otherwise, you wouldn't be having an argument, would you? But to actually stop and think, where are you coming from with this? Even if you see that, you might think, well, it's completely irrational, it's illogical, don't understand why you can't see what I can see. But yet, if you know what that person's been through, and I've had an instance, where people are judging others for the behaviour. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. Have you thought why somebody is behaving that way? And okay, you might not like the way they're behaving, but let's just take a step back and see, is that person behaving in such a way because they've put a protective mechanism around themselves, that they don't want to show the real selves, that they're being vulnerable?
Yeah.
So rather than being so harsh and so quick to jump on somebody and judge them for the way they're behaving, let's just have a little bit of compassion and go, do you know what? There could be a different side to this, couldn't there?
Definitely.
You know, let's compassion's the key, isn't it? And it is hard to find compassion when you are in the throes of anger, but
it is, because you do want to vent, don't you? But it's like, and I do it, and I don't tend to do it with other people. I do it with my own family, which is not a good thing, but
when you trust somebody enough to show the real side, that's the difference, isn't it?
But it's kind of, I sound like a right meanie now, don't I? Now I just said that.
I'm saying nothing.
I'm
not judging.
But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, what do we hope to gain? And they said, you're fighting fire with fire. Yeah? Well, you gain nothing, do you? You just get more fire. And, it's like, if you write or speak, ask yourself, are the words coming from a place of love and compassion? Am I going to hurt that other person? And if I intend to hurt that other person, why do I want to do that?
Well, what does it make me feel to cause pain to somebody else? How does that make me feel? And that comes back to the ego, doesn't it? Because it makes the ego feel good.
Yeah.
It makes you feel more powerful, that you have some hold over somebody else. But strip all that away, and you can see what it really is. And it's not the place to be.
No, it's.
I'm going to say something now that is going to laugh when I say this, but we don't always have to be right.
It's recorded. Hooray! Yes, it's on the recording. Yeah, I'm going to do one of my laughs then. That I do. But,
But it's true, isn't it? Just arguing for arguing's sake, just to prove a point, just to prove that you're right. What a waste of energy.
Well, and this is what's happening. This is where the division's coming from, isn't it? Because we all like to think that we're right. And I mean, what we're saying today, we could be completely wrong.
Does it matter? It's perception, isn't it?
It's all about perception. Your life changes. Your perception changes through life. You move on. It's like what was very important at that point in someone's life, if they allow themselves to grow spiritually, and you will always begin to perceive life differently. It's like having your eyes opened, constantly having your eyes opened, constantly learning, learning from life itself.
And learning to choose your battles as well.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's something we learnt years ago when we used to do Tai Chi, didn't we?
Yeah.
And Tina, lovely lady, wasn't she, that taught Tai Chi. And I remember listening to her saying, that sometimes you need to turn tail and actually run away rather than stand and fight. And that was quite alien for me, that concept.
Yeah.
But actually, there's sometimes maybe running away is not quite the right way to put it. We're not running away from our problems,
retreat.
But turning the other cheek, turning and walking away.
Yeah.
Quite often can be, and I don't mean this in an ego way, but can be the bigger thing to do, the right thing to do. Can't it?
It can, definitely. So we need to think about things, think about how we conduct ourselves, think about now breaking down that division within humanity, finding the communities, and we feel reasonably sure that the people that control us are going to try and scupper that once again, just at this moment in time. They might not do, but the signs seem to be there that they want to, create that division once again in society. But this time round, we've got to look at it differently. We're the ones who need to perceive things differently. The controllers they are stuck in a pattern of behaviour, and they will never release themselves from that behaviour because it's not in their nature to do so. But we, as free divine beings, human beings, we have that ability. We have that choice. The controllers are so entrenched in their lifestyle now that it would be very difficult for them to change that. Not saying that it's not possible, but if you kind of look into that a little bit further, you'll understand the reasons why. But we are not governed by what they're governed by and controlled what they're controlled by.
We don't have the same motives, do we, for one?
Exactly. Most human beings on this planet want peace,
harmony,
and just to be able to live their lives freely, generally without harming others or being harmed. And that is generally what we want. The only people that start the wars are the politicians. You and I do not amass tanks, guns and weapons.
Why don't they just put these leaders in a boxing ring and just go, right, you sort it out. You have your little fight and leave the rest of us out of it. You've got the issue.
It would be a lovely idea, wouldn't it, to see them punching the lights out of each other, yeah? But
bring back wrestling. Remember Big Daddy and Giant Haystack?
Oh, yeah.
And the lady at the front with the handbag.
Yeah, like Kendo Nagasaki me when they used to rip his mask off. Perhaps we need a little bit more of that recently, or whenever. Anyway, no, we don't. We're not going to start ripping each other's masks off.
I don't know.
Well, that's just blowed it all, hasn't it, really? Yeah, and on that bum note, then we'll... we
better call it a day, haven't we? Before we get in trouble.
No, but it's honestly, it's... and you know what, folks, have a laugh. Just bring that humour into your life.
Sense of humour.
That joy, that music, that love, that whatever it is that really floats your boat, bring it into your life, yeah? You need it. We need it. We all need it. And it's what makes us human. And it's what makes our light shine. You know what? And there's a lot of darkness out there, but the light from humanity is getting brighter and brighter all the time now. And before long, we're all going to need a proper pair of sunglasses. You know, I'd rather have that world than the world that these other beings are trying to create for us.
But that's up to us to create it, isn't it? And
absolutely.
If there's one thing I would say for anybody to ask themselves is, do you want a life of joy or a life of fear? Because you choose how you're feeling right now. You choose how you're going to interact with that world. You know, whether you're going to do it on joy, love, peace, harmony, compassion, or whether you're just going to live with fear, anger, hatred. That's up to you, isn't it? But
being told what to do.
But I know which world I want to be in, and that's the world I'm manifesting.
Yeah, as I put it, paying for our own slavery.
That's another subject.
Yeah, but you know, I might have talked about that already, but we will talk about it at some stage. And according to the cosmics, we're one of the only planets that actually we pay to live on it. Yeah.
Animals don't pay to live on it.
Everything's free.
Wildlife doesn't.
Out there, everything's free. Yeah, we talked about that before. In the natural world, you know, and I always say this, that human beings are different. You know, we are the only beings on this planet that have to learn how to live on it. All the animals have this instinct. They already seem to know how to live on it, you know, and they get on with their business. Human beings still, haven't learned how to live on planet Earth. How long is it going to take? Yeah. Now we've got a massive opportunity to begin that process, to learn how to live on the planet in harmony with it, with each other, and with all the wonderful flora and fauna that is on this amazing place.
I'm in.
I am. Definitely. So that's two. So anyway, I'm very conscious of the time. We'll be kind of going on for hours and hours if we're not careful.
Well, you will.
Yeah. And I'm just looking at number sequences. I made some granola this morning, and it came out of the oven. Right, the alarm went off. Yeah, at 11:11.
Oh,
can you believe that?
Well, that must mean that it's going to be all right.
So that's divine granola. Yes.
I'll let you know how it tastes.
All right, folks. Well, you take care, and above all, you know, keep the faith. Know that you're amazing. You know, don't ever think that you are down here, and that nobody loves you. You're always loved.
Absolutely.
There are so many amazing beings around us that many people can't just yet see, but are learning to see, learning to become aware of. Yeah,
But
through
just sit
the
and tune in,
higher
though. Sit
consciousness.
and tune in if you are feeling low, if you are feeling lonely, and just listen to the voice of the higher self, the voice of the great consciousness, the collective consciousness, as in, what am I trying to say?
I don't know, you're rambling
I'm
now, aren't you?
rambling, I'm rambling.
You're
But
trying to say just tune into the higher consciousness.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that little voice within that will tell you just how special you are and that
Yeah.
you are never alone.
Yeah. So, and if at any time you want to talk to us, you know, we're happy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Not at 3 o'clock in the morning, though. But drop us a line, yeah, or, you know, give us a ring in the week or something. But please, if you need anybody to talk to, we can't always guarantee to, you know, if we got swamped, for instance, we might struggle to answer everybody's messages.
And there are specialist phone lines for specialist conditions, aren't there? You know, we're here to talk about the spiritual aspects, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our bag, isn't it?
Yeah. What's the other phone lines?
Well, for people with serious, you know, mental health issues.
Oh, right.
Suicide,
sorry, yes. Yeah, I'm thinking, crikey, how many phone lines have we got?
No, I'm talking about
Yeah, of course, yeah. If it's a medical thing,
stuff,
we're talking medically there, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we that's not us. We are spiritual, okay? We will look at life a little bit differently, as you can tell.
Well, we're coming from the spiritual aspect,
yes,
aren't we?
yeah, and that's how we view things. And it's a much different picture to what, you know, the media might tell you, as you'll already know. Anyway, take care, folks. Have a great day, whatever you're doing. And keep that joy, keep that love, keep that compassion, keep the faith. And you know, we'll see you kind of, I'm going to say on the other side. That sounds a bit drastic, doesn't it?
We'll see you when we see you.
Yeah, we'll see you there. All right, folks. Take care.
See you soon. Bye now.
Bye.